Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, you must become the victor. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
His Royal Majesty, the 98th Emperor of the Holy Britannian Empire.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about what went on over the last week, because it's been very, very interesting. So both Canada and Mexico folded. They were both trying to talk tough to Trump, and we're going to put 25% tariffs on you. Well, that didn't last very long, because apparently somebody advised both countries, like, hey, you do realize that you're less than 5% of our GDP, and we're like 30 to 40% of yours. So you imposing a tariff on us would be an absolute death sentence for your entire country. So I put out a video a couple days ago called Canada Trying to Speed Run into Becoming a Third World Country. And those tariffs are on hold, because the whole purpose of this was a show of strength. And it was reminding people that America is a juggernaut, that our economy can make or break you. And this idea that the Canadians had, or that the Mexican government had, that they could take advantage of us. And then when Trump made a demand, like, hey, Canada, get your stuff together with your border. That was the whole purpose of the tariffs, by the way. I think that Trump wanted to, set an example, but Trump made it very clear. Canada, you need to get your border together. And do you know that a lot of the liberal Democrats in Canada were coming out saying, no, we're not going to do this. We're not going to listen to you. That was a whole thing. I mean, it happened, a little bit ago, so people may not remember, but no, it was a thing. People in Canada who were elected officials were saying, no, we're not going to do anything. We're not going to help you. In fact, we're going to fight against you. And Trump is saying, well, fine. If you're not going to be an ally, I'm going to treat you like any other country. So slapping a 25% tariff, Justin Trudeau, to his credit, although it took him a little while to get it, because at first he was playing the tough guy, was like, yeah, okay, we're backing down. We're actually not going to follow through on this. And it's been really, really interesting to watch this play out, because what it's revealed for me is that Canadians imagine themselves as being, we're the nice ones. No, you're not. First of all, let's just get real here. I understand having pride in your country. There's nothing wrong with that. But you guys have elected Trudeau and Liberal Democrats for years, and you people in Canada have basically voted your rights away. You don't have a First Amendment. You don't have a Second Amendment. You basically have given away the rights that don't come from the government but come from God. You've voted that away from yourself, which I think is genuinely pathetic. You give up a fortune of the money that you earn for quote-unquote free healthcare, which is some of the worst healthcare in the world. It just is. I've known people from Canada, and if you need a serious operation, they always come to the U.S. They never stay in Canada to get it done, because the wait times are so ridiculously long. So, understand, you have embraced left-wing socialism and Marxism, and it's been a disaster. This has allowed you to convince yourselves that you're our equal. or that you're better than us as Canadians. You're not. You decided we're not going to put any money in our infrastructure or our military. No, we're going to put it into pronouns and social programs and all this other bullshit because you know that if Canada got attacked, that we'd take care of you. So across the board, this situation has revealed that Canadians don't really appreciate what America does for them. We take your useless crude, we take your oil that you can't do anything with. You don't have the ability to refine the oil that you extract. So we take it out of song, but we turn it into oil that's actually usable. If we stopped buying it, you would have a useless product. It would be worth nothing. Very few countries in the world can refine oil the way that the U.S. can. So, without further ado, let's take a look at this statement from Justin Trudeau. This is his surrender. I just had a good call with President Trump. Canada is implementing our $1.3 billion border plan, reinforcing the border with new choppers, technology and personnel, enhanced coordination with our American partners, and increased resources to stop the flow of fentanyl. Nearly 10,000 frontline personnel are and will be working on protecting the border. In addition, Canada is making new commitments to appoint a fentanyl czar. We will list cartels as terrorists, ensure 24/7 eyes on the border, launch a Canadian-U.S. strike force to combat organized crime, fentanyl, and money laundering. It's like Donald Trump wrote this himself. I have also signed a new intelligence directive on organized crime and fentanyl, and we will be backing it with $200 million. Proposed tariffs will be paused for at least 30 days while we work together. And this was the point. And apparently Trudeau figured it out, and the president of Mexico figured it out. America is the biggest country in the world in terms of economy. We have the power to do something like this. Canada doesn't, and it never did. And I'm actually glad that this happened. I don't want to see I don't want to see tariffs imposed on Canada if we can avoid it, because I know it'll be hard for them. You know, people talk about, oh, it'll be hard for Americans. Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Yeah, prices will go up. But understand, Canadians are taxed at such an unbelievable rate. And this whole thing has basically crashed the Canadian dollar because of their response. Trump wants to do away with a bunch of different taxes, federal income tax, taxes on tips. Trump wants to remove taxes from the American people. So tariffs that are coming in, they may increase the price of goods. But if that is coupled with people being able to keep more of their money, it's not going to affect us the way it may affect other countries that are still being run by liberal Democrats that want to tax them out the wazoo. So I think this is a tremendous win for Trump. I think it sends a message, and in fact, El Salvador has announced that they are willing to take illegals from other countries and put them in their supermax jail. So for a fee, which is I'm going, that is brilliant. So if Trump wants to pay a one-time fee to send these people to the supermax jail, I mean, we live in a wild time, but I think the problem is, and I've heard Asmongold say this, people accuse Donald Trump of like mafia tactics. Like, this is like cartel tactics. And I think the problem is, people like Asmongold, people like Moist Critical, people like Hassan, people in the content creator space, they don't actually understand what a leader is. They're like, oh, this is mafia tactics. No, it's just leadership. That's literally all it is. It's not mafia tactics. It's not cartel tactics. It's just simply leadership. Donald Trump knows what he has. He knows the advantages and disadvantages of the U.S., and he's leveraging that to get us a better deal. That's not mob tactics. That's called being a leader. But we have been so devoid of leadership that the idea of being a leader is seen as somehow like, oh, this guy is a bully and a mobster. It's like a little bit, in a way you could describe that because he's strong arming certain people, but it's like going into any transaction, you want somebody that's going to defend your interests. But I keep hearing people say that he's like a mobster. He's this, and I know he posted that picture of the FAFO of him in like the Italian suit with the fedora. But the thing is, I think that Trump is doing a fantastic job. I think that as time goes on, people are going to stop with these games. So here's the statement from El Salvador. El Salvador agrees to take in criminals of any nationality, including U.S. convicts. This will be their new home. Oh, God. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Would you want to go there? Oh, wow. That's atrocious. That's horrible. But I love it. And people are celebrating and people are cheering. This is a bald eagle killing a Canadian goose. And yeah, I mean, this picture really, really does say it all. The thing is, I don't hate Canadians. I don't hate Canada. But at a certain time, you have to take a step back and let them know, wait a minute, all these things that we do for you and you take for granted, the fact that you had Canadians that were booing the American national anthem, the fact that you had Canadians that were talking about, oh, without us, without our energy, without our crude, your country wouldn't be able to turn its lights on. Maybe we should turn our lights on. You are way overestimating your importance. Like, I understand pride in a country, but this is delusional. You do realize that we are the biggest net importer in the world. If we needed more oil, Trump is going to drill for it himself, or he's going to buy it from overseas. You are not as important as you try to make yourself out to be. And we have to say this because apparently a bunch of you are delusional. It's tough love. Ladies and gentlemen, another win for Donald Trump. And I've enjoyed the content, seeing people freak out, seeing people not understand this whole situation. People like Mudahar and others like, oh, Trump is it's like, you elected Trudeau. You elected this liberal Democrat government. You gave up your rights. You agreed to higher taxes, all of that stuff. You could have emulated us. You could have come up with your own version of the American Constitution. You could have joined us, honestly. You could have become state, multiple states. You chose not to. You chose to live in the way that you do, which is fine. But understand that you're not our equal, and you never will be. Not even close. We may have bad presidents from time to time, like Biden and Obama. But Americans have a spirit that ultimately will overcome that, which is why we elected Donald Trump twice. remains to be seen if you have that, and if you're going to overcome the liberal Democrats in your party and your country. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.